newspaper review segment, which is of course bringing you the news stories from around the country. And of course you need to have your meal has to be balanced when you're listening to a radio show. And of course we're bringing you some sports, which is to help you lighten and digest all that you had earlier on with the news, because obviously we know how tough it can be watching the news. The news is like chewing very, very, strong bone. And so, of course, the sports are supposed to just lighten it up a bit. And now we're back with Beyond the Surface, which is like an extra, just an extra to your dish to help the dish to be even more pleasant, to help you balance your meal a bit more. And of course, throughout the day, we've got so much more to make sure that your radio consumption is balanced. All right. So it's important that when you choose a radio station that is balanced, that can give you balanced radio consumption. That is a bit of everything. And of course, we try to make sure that you definitely have the very best. This is Splash 105.5 FM. Such a pleasure to be back here this morning. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. I hope you're doing good wherever it is you're listening to me from. Oh, Happy New Month. I think that is still appropriate to say Happy New Month, even though it's the second day in March, but it's my first time here this month on radio. So I say Happy New Month to you. Let's pray that March indeed will bring more good news, that, as they say, will march into greatness this month. All right, so it is time for Beyond the Surface, and we'll be looking at, what's been going on. In the past couple of days, a lot of us just woke up and realized that there was news of, queues at petrol station. This is not something that's new to us, but I don't know, for some reason, we still just get this anxiety every time we hear that or we see a petrol station. I know some of you, even though when there's nothing happening, maybe perhaps there's just a popular petrol station. I know a popular petrol station that once in a while just gets a lot of queue, because I think they're one of the very few stations that I can, vouch for to say, oh, they have good feel and their pricing is always good. They're never trying to take advantage of people. I'm not going to mention that petrol station, but I think you all know what petrol station comes to mind. So, for example, maybe a lot of people just go to them because their prices are one of the lowest, I believe. And we'll talk about that. So this is a platform we're going to open up to you at home. So we'll talk about that and compare some of the petrol stations around. Sometimes it's good to put these petrol stations on the spotlight. You're our eyes out there. And so whatever you're going through, we need to hear and, of course, talk about it. This particular petrol station, I find I always go to buy from them because I never have issues with my car. There's some petrol stations when I buy fuel from them, I always have issues with my car. So I've bought with them for a long time. If I buy from somebody else, it has to be because maybe they are near me, they are near my office, so I can also vouch for them somewhat. So a lot of people often go to this petrol station because their price is usually one of the lowest. And so even when there's no petrol scarcity, sometimes when you are driving by and you see that, oh, maybe there are 4-5 cars, just a bit of a queue, you join that queue because you're afraid, anything can happen. And Nigeria is one of those places where, I really pray that we get to the point where we don't have anxieties over the, barest minimum. The littlest thing can give you anxiety in Nigeria. And I've just given a basic example. You see a queue, you just jump on it because you never know what's going to happen. If we're in a country where, for example, you can trust that there's somebody, or there are people who ensure that, for example, if someone decides to hoard petrol, they will be checked. If somebody decides to do what they're not supposed to do, they will be checked. But because we're in a country where the slogan, Nigeria, everything goes, people are so insecure, people are so unsure, people are so, are always in doubt. We don't know what's going to happen. I even know people who are constantly talking about how, you need to get a visa to a country because we need a Nigeria that's safe for people. We need a Nigeria that gives you peace of mind. So talking about this whole petrol, queue, for example, I tried about 4 people who were in the, oil marketing, oil petrol station, more marketer, dealers and all, to at least come and talk to us about why is there panic buying? Why is there hoarding of petrol? Why is there a disparity in the pricing of petrol? In my neighborhood alone, one fuel station sells for 180 naira. One station sells for 160 naira. So, but you'll be shocked that in spite of the disparity, there are queues on both, at both fuel stations. There are queues at both fuel stations. So we want to wonder why this disparity. People often have also said in the past that for those who have canvassed for removal of subsidy, have said, when they remove subsidy, all of our problems will be over, But then some people had also argued that, hey, the masses will feel it, and perhaps that's one of the things we're dealing with. So in trying to get somebody to come and talk to us about it, everybody was afraid to come and talk. You know how newspapers publish that by the time we file this report, calls to get through to a certain person had become, trying to get somebody to come and talk to us. Everybody's afraid of talking about it. Everybody kept saying, you know what, NNPC is the only one that can talk. We're not allowed to talk. We don't want to talk about it. And I can imagine, obviously, nobody wants to get into trouble. Nobody wants to, be the face of somebody who they're going to start to said what they ought not to have said. But let's start from the news stories in the papers. For example, this morning we read that NNPC had even put out a statement because of this whole panic buying and fuel hoarding. NNPC put out a statement this morning. Following Nigerians' anxiety about a possible increase in petrol price, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has assured that there will be no price increase in March. This was even as it warned against hoarding by marketers and panic buying. The NNPC made the clarification in a statement issued by its spokesperson, Dr. Kenny Obatere, in Abuja. It said, contrary to speculations of an imminent increase in the price of premium motor spirit, petrol in the country, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has ruled out any increment in the ex-depot price of petrol in March 2021. The NNPC said it was not contemplating any raise in the price of petrol in March in order not to jeopardize ongoing engagements with organized labor and other stakeholders on an acceptable framework that will not expose the ordinary Nigerian to any hardship. It further cautioned petroleum products marketers not to engage in arbitrary price increase, which we have seen, or hoarding of petrol, which we also are witnessing, in order not to create artificial scarcity and unnecessary hardship for Nigerians. It maintained that it has enough stock of petrol to keep the nation well supplied for over 40 days and urged motorists to avoid panic buying. This statement already should reassure people, should reassure the masses who are panic buying, should reassure the petrol station, because even they themselves, I talked to a few people who own petrol stations actually, and they were able to talk to me off the record. And for all of them, they said, look, we cannot trust these people. We are hearing rumors and they're going to increase, price of petrol. And of course, the person who owns a fuel station wants to sell, if he's going to be able to sell it at twice the price next week, he'd rather just hoard it and sell it at twice the price. So a lot of them were honest enough, at least to some of them, say it off the record to talk about how we are hearing rumors. Yeah, they're saying they're not increasing the price, but we know that there are rumors out there. So for some of them, the economic thing or the wise thing for some of them to do is to hoard it, sell it bit by bit. When the price goes up, then they can also increase their prices, which obviously is not fair to the people, which is not fair for the people's anxiety levels, because you see queues and all of a sudden you start to jump helter-skelter. Then obviously this is not safe, because what happens is people start to store fuel in their homes, which is a hazard in itself, because then you have cases of fire, and stuff like that. People should not hoard fuel indiscriminately in their homes. Anyway, the NNPC continues in this statement, and it maintains that it has enough stock of petrol to keep the nation well supplied for over 40 days and urge motorists to avoid panic buying. To this end, he called on relevant regulatory authorities to step up monitoring of the activities of marketers with a view to sanctioning those involved in product hoarding or arbitrary increase of pump price. We're going to open phone lines. If you've seen cases of arbitrary increase of pump price, you can tell us, your experience. We went on the streets, thankfully, we went on the streets, and there was a particular petrol station that had a queue, and so we went out by ourselves, and of course we got, some of the people who were on the queue to speak, and thankfully they were all open to us. Some of them spoke in Yoruba, some in English. We're going to play that to you so you can hear the voices on the streets. But another interesting story in the paper, in the Punch newspaper, a similar story here, also says the queue by motorists for petrol, this one in Abuja and Nasarawa and Niger. It says on Monday, as only few filling stations dispensed the commodity. But despite the scarcity and queues, which had lingered for several days, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation insisted on Monday that he had enough product to keep the country wet with petrol for about 40 days. Why is this not enough to allay the fears of people? Why is this not enough to let the people who are hoarding fuel know, obviously, that there's obviously no reason, it's unnecessary to do this at this time. All right, so it's beyond the surface. We'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, like we said, we went on the street to find out from people out there how this artificial scarcity is affecting people. Obviously, the effect out there, we can see it. Price of transport fare, for example, has gone up. And somebody on the streets told us about that. So we'll hear the people on the street, and then we'll come back and take your reactions and comments. So don't go away. It's beyond the surface. We're talking about panic buying and artificial fuel scarcity.
It is time for celebration. 30 years busting with goodness. The challenge can never ever stop us. You can't underrate us. You can't underrate it. Busting with so much greatness. Enjoy our wonderful. 30 years of nourishing goodness.
Don't let power outage interrupt your life. Genos inverters come on automatically during power outage, so you enjoy continuous power without interruption. Get Genos and enjoy power without noise and without manual changeover. Call 0700-111-2233. That is 0700-111-2233. Genos inverters and batteries, energizing lives.
Ó yá gbogbo èèyàn pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi ara yín ẹ̀mú ohunkóhun tọ́wọ́ yín bábà ìbájọmọ́rogùn síbi onírin àní ohunkóhun ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣeré ìdárayá ọ̀pá arúgbó lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀ bá ìyẹn náà bàjẹ́ kò sí gírì ẹ dúró ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré sẹ́tì ìdí ẹ̀mú náà. Ó yá ẹjọ́ bọ́dì gbogbo èèyàn la pèsè eré ìdárayá afọkàntara lókun nínú ìdíje 3 Crowns Make Fitness Challenge amárata kébé ọlọ́gbọ̀n ọjọ́ forúkọsílẹ̀ lónìí ní www.femininelounge.com/competition.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families. Lights, camera, Laycon.
No, it's not an act. This is my life for all to see. In the bright lights, see blessings how they follow me. From small beginnings to big brother. From the chances I take to the inspiration I give others. I am a rapper, a singer, a winner. I am an icon. So when they turn the lights on, they see that I am Laycon.
Don't miss I Am Laycon, a new Showmax original reality series. Watch brand new episodes from March 4th, only on Showmax.com.
Ìgbà ń yí ohun gbogbo ń lọ sípò padà àti kúrò ní tijọ́sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ iṣẹ́ la lè ṣe láti inú kọ̀rọ̀ yàrá wa fún ìpàdé láti inú ilé ẹni káràkátà ọjà lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ètò sísan àti gbígbówó lórí afẹ́fẹ́ àti pàápàá ìgbéyàwó lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ alert ilé ìfowópamọ́ alágbèéká ìgbàlódé ti ṣètò ayé fún ọ láti fi owó ránṣẹ́ sanwó ìṣiṣẹ́ ra wákàtí ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tàbí dátà tàbí àwọn ohun èlò yòókù yàrọ́wọ́tó rẹ ní ìrọ̀rùn láì sí ìyọnu. O lè dáńlódù app alert lónìí lórí Google Play Store tàbí lórí Apple App Store.
Alert, powered by Wema Bank.
Now, where's that big malt? Today was just one of those days. Woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my oga's work, then oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic malt. Dubic malt, crown the moment.
My people, better don land. Make una come see ogbonge cable wey dem manufacture for Wiobodo, Nigeria. Na Pure cables. Pure cables na correct electrical cable wey dey reliable, dependable, and the people wey dem make am call dey safety conscious. Pure cables get original copper and aluminium cable for different sizes dem wey you fit use for electrical wiring level for anywhere. Whether na your house, abi na your office, the price nko e no dey tear pocket at all. Nationwide distribution don start. For more information, call 0808 030 3257. 0808 030 3257. Pure Cable and Wire Limited. They have print compound, 40 gate, 122/132. Also, the Apapa Expressway, Iyano Solo Bus Stop, Lagos. Pure Cables, Nigerian electrical contractors endorser, SON approver. Pure Cables, na Ubico.
Amatem soft gel wà fún ìtọ́jú àrùn ibà tí ara rẹ kò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà rẹ.
1960 bets don't return with big FCO as they don't arrange new management. They don't come back better and stronger. Then they pay commission to their agents' bank accounts and winnings to their customers. Sharply. No delay. You can do football or virtual games plus live bet jackpot for inside 1960 bets. Visit their website on top www.1960bets.com. 1960 bets. Play and win.
Good morning once again. Welcome back to Beyond the Surface on Splash 105.5 FM. We're bringing you the realities on ground with, of course, moving out on the streets. We have moved out on the streets as well and spoken to a few people about the artificial fuel scarcity, because that really is what it is, artificial shortage. The NNPC has, reaffirmed, that there is enough petrol to go around. There's enough petrol to go around. So why are we, feeling this anxiety of, fuel scarcity? You go out there, there's still some stations that are refusing to sell. There are some stations that are selling, but there's a queue. And of course, there's some stations that are choosing to sell, beyond what they really should be selling. We're going to open phone lines. I want to know what your experience is out there. And of course, we also went out on the street as well to take the voices of the people out there, which we'll listen to right now. At one point, a lot of people had said that, the deregulation of the nation's downstream sector, which happened in March 2020, would be, some sort of saving grace, with then Chief Minister of State for Petroleum Resources stating that the prices of petroleum products would be determined by prevailing market forces. Well, we'll listen to this from the voice on the streets, and then when we come back, we'll open phone lines to hear your experience, what it is you're having to deal with out there as well. So don't go away.
Okay, my name is Victor. The fuel scarcity has really affected me. Normally I take bike of 100 naira before, but now I'm being charged 150 naira. So just a 50 naira difference.
I think transportation has increased.
Yeah, I think it's still like the usual amount anyway, so nothing changes at all. Nothing has changed.
When I was coming this morning, there was increase in transport fare, like on each transport. So people were many to board all those things. Sure.
Drive will go out. Wọ́n ń sakọ́nù àrépòrà o. Kọ́nà ó sàrìbá àbájọba sọ̀rọ̀ kí wọ́n mú gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ dẹrùn àrépòrà o.
I'm waiting, Abi. I'm waiting. Maybe they will say it later. I don't know. I wanted to buy fuel, but they didn't say anything to us. So maybe later they will say it for us. Thank you.
Okay, that's tó ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú epo ni pé àwọn à ń tò nílé epo ni. Àwọn iléepo wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn sílẹ̀kùn epo láti tepo fún wa. Ọwọ́ àwọn tó sì ń tà náà wọ́n fowó lé díẹ̀ à ń rà níbi 160 tẹ́lẹ̀ bí 162 lọ́nà ìsìn nílé epo àwọn ètí mo rà lónìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan 170 ni mo rà nílé epo lónìí. Èrò sì pọ̀ kí ìpọ̀ àṣẹ kí ìfẹ́ epo ká tó rí epo rà ni kò rọrùn láti rà rárá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí ìdí èyí ló jẹ́ owó ọkọ̀ náà á fi owó díẹ̀ lé ní lọ́nà tí ò ní gbà ní àwọn èèyàn lára, ṣùgbọ́n price tá à ń gbé àwọn èèyàn ó yàtọ̀ sí iye tá à ń gbé tẹ́lẹ̀.
Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ gbin tó yẹ lọ bá ní ká bá sọ̀rọ̀ ní àtàlẹ́ ní.
irú ọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan tá a rí bí epo ní pé àárí epo yẹn rà bó ṣe yẹ ká máa ríra tàbá dé filling station wọn á gbowó lọ́wọ́ wa lẹ́nu géètì ká tó lè wọlé tàbá dẹ̀ dé ẹnu kínní náà ẹnu nọ́ọ̀sù náà wọn á tún gbowó wọn á gbọ́ 100 naira wọn gba 200 lọ́wọ́ wa ẹlòmíì náà dẹ̀ tuntun increase price epo yẹn tẹ̀wọ́n ti ń tàbí àbí 170 175 instead 165 naira reason tó jẹ́ pé táwọn náà fi owó kún owó èrò nìyẹn.
Okay, well, that's those are the voices on the streets. People like you and I who are out there who are also hustling to try and get this fuel. But then you now start to wonder, who is, how we say here, who is doing who it really is, to be blamed for all of this. If NNPC is saying that there's enough fuel to go around, why is their word not enough to assure the people? And then why are people on our own also taking it upon ourselves, to make life a little miserable for ourselves? I was watching a video this morning on social media. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but someone said some tanker fell around that Ojo area and the people are scooping fuel. Somebody was actually telling me a real life story of how some people even sell black market. So for example, some petrol stations, while they're trying to clean out their tank with water, obviously you know that oil and water does not mix. So when the oil sort of flows out into the water, they actually get sponge and squeeze out the oil. This is true life. Somebody just told me this. Then there's use sponge to squeeze out the oil from on top of the water, and they put in their kegs and sell it as black market. So oftentimes when you're buying black market, you don't know if this is what you're buying, because obviously there's no way that the water would not obviously get in the oil, and this is sold to people will eventually ruin your cars. And the rest is history. So, I mean, there's a place for obviously where government needs to put checks and balances in place to make sure that we're not even living like Animal Farm, just eating ourselves. But on the other hand, as people as well, we need to stop, making lives miserable for ourselves. We need to stop causing ourselves these anxieties, because at the end of the day, it's the people that suffer. All right, so we're going to open phone lines. What is your experience? You've heard the experience of people on the street. I know for some of you have to commute to work this morning. Perhaps you have to pay just a little bit more. All right, so and people are even saying that, hey, I mean, the most I have seen petrol being sold is 180. I remember one time when Sky rocketed be over 200 and something, even 300 at not this year, of course. But what are your thoughts and what is your experience? Do share with us. We'd love to hear your views, and we'd love to hear how you were dealing with this situation. It's not a situation, hopefully, that will tarry. It's not one that will be around for a long time, which is why we're dealing with it, because it's artificial scarcity. Is people are just reacting based on rumor. It's what we call a knee-jerk reaction, and so it's something that will go away soon. But why does it even have to happen in the first place? Why do we have to experience this in the first place? Because we underrate how much anxiety we deal with as a people. All right, number to call is 0809 155 1055 or 080 5699 8678 or 0706 949 3000. Let us know what your thoughts are. Who really should be blamed at this point in time? Or should we even be playing the blame game? Or should government just make sure that, because people will always be people, government just needs to know to put these checks and balances. For example, petrol stations that's taking the advantage to spell at exorbitant prices. Petrol stations that have fuel and are shut down. I think it was just yesterday or day before yesterday that Governor Seyi Makinde put out a warning to stations like that, fuel stations like that as well, And so they have to have their monitoring team doing the job to go around to ensure that nobody's doing this. If you have fuel at your petrol station, then you sell it to people. You do not hoard it in hope that next week you can sell it for double the price. That is man's inhumanity to man. So we must ensure that it's not the people that are creating this problem for ourselves. All right. Number to call is 080-5699-8678. 080-5699-8678. I also jumped out the house in panic yesterday because I'd heard, hey, there are fuel queues everywhere. But eventually bought, just right next to my office here, and there was no queue. Even though I had heard earlier on there was a queue in the morning, but I just drove in and I just bought, and I was wondering, okay, yes, maybe I bought a little bit more than I usually would buy. I think they were selling about 170, and I usually would buy at 160 or so at that petrol station that we all know. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please turn down your radio. Good morning. What's your name, please? Hello, good morning. Good morning. You're live on Splash. Good morning. What's your name, please?
I'm Kehinde. I'm from Akpata.
Kehinde from Akpata.
Yes, please.
Oh, you're even close to NNP. Okay.
This fuel issue, I think that people doing panic buying would not help the situation.
Exactly.
Yesterday, I was going out. I needed to buy fuel for my gen at home. So I took the keg. On getting it, I still bought fuel on Sunday and there was no problem.
Yes.
So when I got to the fuel station, can I mention the fuel station? Because I think we need to expose these people.
What?
I got there was a queue on the line. I stayed on the queue. They did not tell me anything. Until I was still saying, why is this queue much? I bought fuel yesterday, no problem. When I got into the fuel station, they asked me to add 500, but they were going to sell fuel for me. I had a sick baby in the car that was taken to the hospital.
Yes.
But in fact, I wanted to take you up with them, but I just thought, why would you stay on the long queue and then not pay for it? I didn't pay 500 actually, I paid 300.
To even buy,
baby,
that was not your fault.
My time.
Wow, so you had to pay a token, a tally to even
I had to pay extra. Wow. They sold at 160, so I had to pay like 300 naira extra. And they were doing it to buy people, to check people too. Why are people doing this? We are the ones doing ourselves in this country. Why do people do that? This is not fair. I was just going to buy fuel and then decided to hike the price. And there was no problem at all. In the NNPC, there's no problem. I know that they had fuel. There was tanker in that place that was waiting to still offload the fuel. Right. And you're still saying there's no fuel. It's not fair. I think the government should really look into we should start exposing these fuel stations so that they start sanctioning them so that they learn not to do that again.
True. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling us in. Absolutely. I wish you could call the name of that fuel station as well. I got somebody else here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Debo. I'm calling from Oluyole.
Hi, Debo. What has been your experience?
It's just been ridiculous. I think as humans, we would panic buy. Because yesterday I was taking my kids to school and the whole of Oluyole was literally blocked. The 3 petrol stations in Oluyole were literally packed full. And we have to still understand that we will panic because I went to buy fuel yesterday.
Yes.
And there were like a crowd. We're still in a pandemic, remember that? So that was even actually got me a bit, I was paranoid.
Agitated,
everyone is everywhere. My friend got it at Onireke for 190.
Wow.
190 naira. My friend that was traveling to Abeokuta had to buy it for 190 naira.
And you'll be shocked. Those stations also have a lot of queue because people are thinking, you know what, let me just buy it at 190 because I don't know how much it will be next week.
I was scared as well. I was like, oh my God, why is there a queue this morning? Because I still bought fuel on Sunday. Another thing is, I totally agree. We are the ones doing ourselves. There is no way. The government is doing us, we are doing ourselves. And Ronnie, based on what you actually read this morning, NNPC said that there will be fuel in March.
Yes.
That would get me actually freaked out because that means you're saying to me that
in April.
Exactly. Or in June. So that's enough to actually trigger people to panic buy.
So true. So true.
So now I'm actually in traffic now, and the only reason for this traffic is because people are queuing on the other side on different to buy fuel. So if there's no way we can avoid panic buying because you're thinking to yourself.
People normally, that's how you normally think. Absolutely. When you're not secure, when you're not sure of what's going to happen tomorrow, of course you panic today.
And finally, before I go, Ronnie, I heard a story yesterday of like a lady that she parked her car by the road, and by the time she got back, they had actually sucked out the fuel in her car.
Oh my days. True life?
So that's what we're doing. Yeah, true life. That's what's going to happen.
Wow.
Because people, I can't buy fuel, or I cannot afford to buy fuel for 190 or 180. Absolutely. I'm going to start sucking out fuel from people's car and probably sell it on black market.
That's ridiculous. Wow. Thank you so much, Debo. Thank you so much for calling us. Thank you for your time. I mean, this is what people are having to deal with, So obviously, like Debo said and aptly put it, the government is doing us and we're doing ourselves. So everyone has a hand in all of this. Yes, people would panic buy. And I think also, because when I read that story as well, and they kept saying we're not going to increase prices in March. They were very specific. So anybody obviously would think, okay, so what does that mean? And we need to get to the point where we start to reassure people. Nigerians deserve to live in peace as well. So, and like I said earlier, we underrate the anxiety. I'm sure if you check an average Nigerian's anxiety level, it is totally off the roof because you're not sure about anything. And we need to get to that point where people are sure, people can live in peace, people can live secure, knowing that, they can go to sleep with their eyes closed and, they'll be fine. They don't wake up the next morning and hear that this is triple the price, which is what people are having to deal with. And even in the market, 1 minute you go and buy onion today, and next someone was talking to me about how she runs a healthy food company, and she blends foods and such. She was saying she went to buy carrots, and it was 3,000, I think, maybe per bucket or whatever. By the next day, it was selling at 12,000. Where does that even happen? Where is there anybody isn't there anyone to regulate to ensure that people are not being taken advantage of? All right, we've got somebody here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Onafuwa.
Good morning. Is this Mr. Charles?
Yes.
Oh, good to have you back. Go ahead.
You see, I think firstly, we should remove that Minister of Petroleum from the president.
Okay.
Nigerian president should stop being Minister of Petroleum. I don't know how he's going to manage that office with you. Even if the office of the president cannot manage it effectively. Don't talk of managing the portfolio of Minister of Petroleum. I think as from now, we should separate the two. That's number one. Then number two, you see, we're in a country whereby they don't give information to the people. See, don't blame these filling stations. I'm sure they've gotten a signal from the NNPC before they are doing what they are doing. Now, let me tell you something. Do you know as at now, they have not laid down foundation stone for any refinery in the country. If Dangote richer than Nigeria, Dangote present day his refinery is almost completed. As I'm speaking with you, Nigerian government have not laid down new foundation stones for new refineries. Even the existing ones, they can't maintain it. Why are we doing this to ourselves? I think the next election, 2020, anybody coming in should give us an undertaking that they will build new refineries before we can vote for such people. We don't want the rice. If you come to give us a schedule, we will stone you. If you give us rice, we will stone you with pure water.
If only everybody could be that aware, if all of us, but then by the time majority, absolutely, you can get majority to be hungry enough to collect it.
If each regime that if you have been laying down one stone for refinery, I think by now we should have more than 3 refineries in the country. But I'm surprised, up till now, nobody is talking about it. It's not good now. It's not good for the country, and it's not helping us.
Absolutely.
I was able to buy fuel yesterday only on personal recognition.
How much?
And when I entered the filling station, they were using calculator to calculate the fuel for me. I said, what is happening? They said they are not selling the former price again. I said, well, what can I do? If I don't buy, I'm running low on fuel. If I don't buy,
exactly, we all need
I can't go out tomorrow. I can't go out today. So that is it. We need government to always give us information so that these things does not take us unaware. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charles. Charles, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll read your messages and take a couple more telephone calls as time is running out. And then, of course, we'll have to call it a day. Don't go away. It is still Beyond the Surface. We'll be right back.
Charles! Yes, Mommy? Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me. Why 2? Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá. Nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n. Ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé, o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ. Wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
Amatem soft gel wà fún ìtọ́jú àrùn ibà tí ara rẹ kò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà rẹ.
Now, where's that Dubic malt? Today was just one of those days. Woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my oga's work, then oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic Malt. Dubic Malt. Crown the moment.
Hello, everyone. Have you been on the lookout for a job or looking for that income? Well, search no further. As BetKing, the playground for kings, is here to support your dreams. Become a BetKing agent in your area and start earning weekly commissions up to 30% of your sales and monthly bonuses. Interested individuals can call Super Agents Adebowale on 081-563-60744 or WhatsApp on 081-091-41096.
ìròyìn ayọ̀ ti wọlé dé o fún gbogbo ènìyàn. Ǹjẹ́ ìwọ ń wá iṣẹ́ tàbí ohun tó lè máa mú owó wọlé wá fún ọ? Máa ń jìnnà. Àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ ti ti ọ̀dọ̀ BetKing wá fún ọ láti mú àlá rẹ wá sí ìmúṣẹ. Di aṣojú BetKing lágbègbè rẹ lónìí. Kó o sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹ èrè ìdá 15% lórí nǹkan tó bá tà lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ àti àjẹmọ́nú lóṣooṣù. Ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá ní ìfẹ́ sí àǹfààní yìí lè pe aṣojú BetKing Adébọ̀wálé sórí 0815-636-0744 tàbí lórí WhatsApp pẹ̀lú 0810-914-1096. BetKing. Pápá ìṣeré fún àwọn ọba.
Wow, it's here.
What's that? What's here, Mom?
The new Maxi 20 hand sanitizer.
Tell me about it, Mom.
The new Maxi 20 hand sanitizer is carefully produced to help us fight germs and provide the right protection for every family.
Introducing the new Maxi 20 hand sanitizer to help you fight germs every day.
Mom, now I can clean up germs that touch my hand and be fine, right?
Yes, son, you can, because Maxi 20 will keep you protected.
Yippee!
Maxi 20. War on germs. Another quality product from Intercontinental Distillers Limited.
Ó yá gbogbo èèyàn, màmá, bàbá, ẹni tó tóbi, ẹni tẹ́rẹ́ tàbí rùmúrùmú, ṣé ìṣàpò mẹ́fà nìkun tiẹ̀ tàbí ẹyọkọ bọ̀rọ̀ gidi, gbogbo yín la pè, mọ nǹkan tọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ bá bà, kájọ ṣeré ìdárayá. Ẹ dúró, ẹ jẹ́ kí sáré sẹ́ẹ̀tì díẹ̀ mu náà. Ẹ jẹ́ lọ, gbogbo èèyàn la pèsè eré ìdárayá pẹ̀lú ohunkóhun tó lè fọ́kàn àtàrà lókun nínú ìdíje 3 Crowns Make Fitness Challenge. Amárata kébé ọlọ́gbọ̀n ọjọ́ forúkọsílẹ̀ lónìí ní www.femininelounge.com/competition.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
There's been panic buying in recent times, of course, we've seen what we call artificial fuel shortage. Artificial, meaning that obviously it's fake, it's not real. Panic buying is obviously a natural response to people feeling insecure about what will happen next. NNPC, gave information recently and, of course, put out on a paper to allay the fears of people that there's enough fuel to go around, and obviously people shouldn't engage in panic buying. Petrol stations should not engage in, artificial fuel scarcity in order not to put people in, anxiety. But we've seen that these are things that have been happening in recent times, and we're talking about it today on Beyond the Surface. We all have a part to play when it comes to ensuring that things work. And so obviously there's a part of government to ensure that when they ask petrol stations not to hike or sell at exorbitant prices, when they ask people not to, to get involved in panic buying, they must also make sure that they enforce and monitor to ensure that these things are being adhered to. All right, so we've taken the voices on the street, and a few people have called us as well to share their reactions and of course, their experience and what's been going on. We'll take a couple more. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Is this Mr. Ola?
Yeah, thank you.
Good to have you back. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me quickly rule about the child that called. I was...
Hello? Okay, well, we don't know what happened to his call there. All right, well, call us back if you can. All right, number to call is 080-5699-8678. 080-5699-8678. A lady called in earlier, and really and truly, we must get to that point where if we have to start to expose people who are, who obviously don't, who are part of the problem in this country, some fuel stations maybe need to come under, such spotlight and be named and shamed. When in times like this, they're quick to take advantage of situations and start to tax people exorbitantly, start to, do all the things that will cause more panic and anxiety.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. What's your name, please?
My name is Adebowale from Orisha.
Good to have you here, Mr. Adebowale. Go ahead. What's your experience like out there?
Well, I blame people who hike the price of PMS. Those people who have it in abundance and they keep it for the rainy days or for the dry season, so to say. But at the same time, let's just look at this. The NNPC are not being righteous with what they give us.
Okay.
Because if you talk to these independent marketers, they tell you their experiences at the NNPC depots, the amount, the cost, the landing cost.
Oh, what happened to Mr. Adebowale? Please call back. And he's onto something there because, like I said, I talked to quite a number of people yesterday. Some people who are fuel station owners, some people who are marketers, etc. And one of the fuel station owners talked about how, by the time it gets to them, they are paying more than they ought to. So, of course, they're trying to make money as well. They're in business. So, by the time this, petrol, there's so much middleman syndrome that needs to perhaps be discussed, because by the time they get their fuel, they're not also getting at the prices that they ought to. So, obviously, by the time we get it, it's at exorbitant prices. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Ronke.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please? Good morning, Reverend Koye. Good to have you back. Go ahead, Reverend Koye.
I was a bit lucky because I always fill my car on Sunday. And I think I'm still using it now. But in all my locality, the stations are closed off.
Wow.
I realized that most of these stations have petrol. But they only sell at the moment to friends, relations, and acquaintances. But I'm saying, I asked somebody, I said, why? They said they have not got supply. NNPC told us they have 40 days, more than enough well. There should be no panic buying. This shows that the government don't know what they are in government for. When people are suffering, why do you put them in untold suffering? Why do you make people suffer? It shouldn't be.
Unnecessarily.
It shouldn't be. Our leaders should know that they have a responsibility to the people. And I come back to the issue of subsidy. I have said it time and time again. We should not allow the prices of petrol to go out of control, even if government must subsidize. If the only thing government subsidizes in Nigeria is petrol, let it be 50 naira. Everybody in Nigeria will benefit from it. But they will say they will carry it to the border to sell. You have police, you have soldier, you have NSA, you have Navy. That is not a useful explanation. If subsidy has to be paid and the people enjoy the benefit of it, it will go. They must not allow inflation to go further than it is at the moment, or else we don't know what will be.
Right.
Because people are pushed to the wall already. They are
Hello. Thank you very much, Reverend Koye. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for calling in. Absolutely. People are pushed to the wall. It's ridiculous that there's so much that people are already grappling with. So you don't want to wake up to the anxiety of, you have to stay on the queue, or you don't know who's going to sell or who's not going to sell. It's nobody needs to deal with that plus on top of what we're already dealing with. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
Good morning, Adebowale calling back.
Oh, good. Thank you very much for calling back.
So what I would like to say is just that the NNPC and the government should be more transparent in their dealings with this hitman, whatever, independent petroleum marketers, whatever. Because these people, when they go out their mind, those who loaded stuff on the NNPC depot on Sunday, will tell you they loaded and they landed for an everything will end up being at the rate of 180 naira per liter. You expect them to come around and sell you at the rate of 162? It's not possible. Because they calculate, they are doing business with their funds. Many of them are on bank loans, and so they have to make their money. Those people who have it already and they are keeping it in their phone, I don't like what they are doing. I am very much crazy about what they are doing. But these people that still fought well on Sunday and on Monday, how do you want them to cope? Let the transparency be there. Let the NNPC be transparent in everything they are doing. Because we're talking about a nation, righteousness leading a nation to where we are supposed to be. If they are not being righteous, what do they expect us to do? The transparency is not there. Absolutely. People are keeping quiet because they don't know what to say. They don't want to leak the secret behind all this fake news. Because come out to tell us anything, we believe it's fake news because there's something hidden inside that particular sector.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much, Mr. Adebowale. We appreciate that. Absolutely. It all boils down to a few things here. Lack of communication is a huge problem within government and the people. Sometimes we get there's so many mixed signals, which obviously causes insecurities, people to uncertainty, which is another problem. When people are uncertain of what's going to happen tomorrow, of course, people will start to panic. So the lack of communication is causing so much uncertainty. And of course, we still have the whole, people just trying to take advantage of any situation. And people will do that because human beings will be human beings. And so it is upon the government or the people who are in leadership to ensure that, like I said earlier, it doesn't turn into some animal farm where people start to, fists on each other. So government needs to communicate better. Government needs to create, some sort of security where people can feel like, okay, if you say this is what's going to happen, then we can trust. There must be some, level of trust, or else people will obviously resort to what they do. All right, well, that's all with the time that we have to do this morning. I hope that this will obviously challenge the people who are hoarding petrol. It's because this time we're not naming and shaming. Next time we might name and shame, and yes, we'll name and shame. A few people, Desmond. Oh wow! How much did you buy petrol today? Oh, you didn't. You don't even have last week. Sorry. All the best as you queue. All right. Well, hopefully we will start to name and shame, and hopefully that will put people on their toes. That you do not take advantage of your own people, join, just for nothing, unnecessarily. And we will definitely get to that point. Thank you very much for listening to Beyond the Surface today and for being a part of it. For those who participated and called in, thank you for sharing your realities with us. For those who allow us to take their voices and record them at petrol stations, thank you very much. That insert was actually taken by Toby Loba Jesu Omolewa. All right, thank you very much, Toby Omolewa, for that one. All right, till I'm back again, which will be on Friday. Do enjoy the rest of your day. We've got Tifuntena coming up at 9 o'clock. And then, of course, the 1 p.m. news is coming up at 1, of course. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning.